I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we'll try to understand how to write equation for perpendicular lines and how to draw perpendicular lines. As you know, two lines L1 and L2 are perpendicular. We can write like this. If their slopes are, or product of their slopes is -1, that is one way. Or we could say if the slopes are negative reciprocal of one another, that means negative of m2 is negative of 1 over m1. So that is negative reciprocal. We normally say this as negative reciprocal. So that is the condition for two lines to be perpendicular. Now, if you are given lines in slope-intercept form, how are you going to write equation for perpendicular lines? This is what we will see now. Let us say that we have equation of a line as y equals to 2x minus 3. In that case, line perpendicular should have a slope which is negative reciprocal of 2. So a line minus 1 over 2x plus anything will be perpendicular. So this set of lines is perpendicular. Let's take more examples. If I have y equals to 1 over 3 x plus 1, in that case the perpendicular line equation should be y equals to negative 3x. It could be 1 also, right? So that will be a perpendicular line. Let's take some more examples. So more examples could be like y equals to, let's take some fractions, 2 over 3x minus 1. Then the perpendicular line will be y equals to negative 3 over 2. That is negative reciprocal, right? You may or may not have a y-intercept of constant. It could be 0 also, right? So this is also a set of perpendicular lines. Let's take one more example as y equals to, let us say we take y equals to 5. Now in this case, what is the slope? The slope in this case is 0. So we are looking for a line whose slope is 1 over 0 or undefined. You will notice that y equals to 5 is a horizontal line, right? It's a horizontal line. Horizontal line is perpendicular to a vertical line. So x equals to something, let us say 2, will be a vertical line and these two will be perpendicular, right? So that is kind of important to understand. So as far as the equations are concerned, so this set of equations, a horizontal and vertical lines are always perpendicular. But in case we have a non-zero slope, then the negative reciprocal will give us a perpendicular line, right? That is how it should be treated. Now let's take examples on the equation which is in standard form, right? So let's take standard form and how to write equation of a line which is perpendicular if we are given equation in standard form. What I mean to say is, if the equation of the line is 2x minus 3y plus 5 equals to 0, how are you going to write directly equation of a perpendicular line? Well, in this case, since we are looking for a negative reciprocal, you can swap x and y values. So we have 3x and here we have 2y. You could have any number here, it doesn't matter. And one of the signs could interchange. So this is negative. If I make it positive, that becomes a perpendicular line. Well, we could also write this as minus 3x and we can maintain this, change the sign for this. That is to say, we can maintain the negative sign for the coefficient of y and have negative sign for x, which was earlier positive. That is, we swapped the sign of, or we flipped the sign for x. One of the sign could change. So these equations represent equation of perpendicular lines. Let me take one more example and then you can write the answer before me. Let us say we have 4x plus 2y minus 7 equals to 0. Now can you write down equation of lines which are perpendicular to the given line? One of them will be change this. So write 2x, right? And then change one of the sign, 4y minus 3 equals to 0. Or you could have written this also like this, minus 2x, and this could be positive, right? Positive 4y plus 1 equals to 0. Now in this case, you do see a common factor. Do you get the point? So you could divide both by 2. So in that case, a line whose equation is minus x plus 2y plus, let us say, 3 equals to 0 is also perpendicular, right? So in case we have a common factor, we could divide by that common factor and then again write the equation. So that is how you can get equation of perpendicular lines when given in standard form. Now let's look into few graphs. Now as I was saying here, if I draw a vertical line, for example, this is my line, equation of this vertical line is, let us say, x equals to minus 2. In that case, a perpendicular line will be horizontal. It could be like this, like this, like this. Even x-axis is perpendicular. So every horizontal line whose equation will be y equals to, let us say, b, will be perpendicular to the given vertical line. In general, if we have a horizontal line, then all vertical lines will be perpendicular. So we can get equation of a perpendicular line. But in case you are looking for a perpendicular line through a point, let us say through a point where the point is minus 2, 4, in that case, for the vertical line, which is x equals to minus 2, horizontal line will be y equals to 4, the y value. So you can get equation of a line perpendicular to given line through a point also. So that is a good way of finding the equation. Now when it comes to graphing lines which are perpendicular, then let us take an example. For example, we have y-intercept of 1 and slope of 2 over 3. That means 2 up, that is a rise, and 1, 2, 3 runs. So this line has a slope which is 2 over 3. So a perpendicular line will have a slope of 3 over 2 with a minus sign, correct? So that means you have to go up 3 units, or you could go down by 3 units. So you can go down from, let us say we are using this point itself, you can go down 1, 2, 3 and 2 units to the right, 1, 2. Then a line which goes through this will be perpendicular. Do you see the point? So flip it and change one of the sign to get a perpendicular line, correct? You could go the other way also. You could start from any other point, right? So let us say this is the point to start with. Then from here, you could go 3 units down, 1, 2, 2, 3, and then from here, 2 units to the right. So 1, 2. So we get here. So joining these two lines, points, we get a line which is going to be perpendicular at a different point. So that way, you can actually draw perpendicular lines graphically also. I hope with this you understand how to write equation for lines when given in slope, intercept form or standard form for a perpendicular line, and how to sketch them if required. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.